We are Flake, Rose, and Spears, and we are supremely black. How y'all doing this week, fellas?
Man, I'm doing good. Can't complain. Can't complain about nothing. Everything is all well. These kids started for school, so my pocket's a little dry. Gotta get these supplies. Gotta get these clothes, these shoes. I think they worry about shoes more than they worried about clothes. Man, I here want exclusive shoes, man. These shoes are ridiculous high, man. Ain't big kids shoes going for the regular price of the grown man shoes. It might be like a $10 difference. Man, yeah, it got to be a better way, man. But yeah, that's it. My pocket's just dry trying to get these kids ready for school.
It's been a dope week for me, man. I can't complain at all. To be for real with you, had a very eventful weekend. Last week visiting Tulum was beautiful. I would advise anybody to definitely go over there. Don't pay attention to the seaweed because that was about the only bad thing about it. But the Maya ruins and just the whole entire experience was dope. So no complaints there. Yeah, Flake, I went and bought some shoes the other day, man. And I was like, yeah, this is why I haven't been getting in it, man. Air Maxes hit me for about 210, 220. I said,
Oh yeah.
man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I said, yeah, it got real different, man. But yeah, everything good on my end. I can't complain at all. Spirits, how you feeling, brother?
Everything good on my end. Everything good. So all is well with me. Just more of the same of just trying to take care of business, get things in line, and everything. So uh, everything's good with me.
Yeah, what you
All
got,
right,
Spirits? Oh
good.
yeah, man. I actually I know I was talking about that class, that stock market university thing. So I actually passed that test today to get that. So that'll be more to come in regards to that with some business plans. But yeah, kind of got that out the way. That was a little stressful, but that test was a lot. Well, I'm gonna say this: I studied more than I thought I did for that last little test, but it ain't good though. We'll talk. We'll wrap about that other little part, but yeah,
So you got a certification?
yeah.
How long it lasts?
It was a month that I had went through the class. And I mean, it's just certification over the stuff that we had actually covered. It was a month worth of training, well, schooling basically, learning on like option trading and a little bit more in depth research in regards to the stock market, understanding charts, knowing how to chart, stuff like that. It's just outside of just the normal stock market, buy some, let it sit there for the long game. It's more or less being able to make money off the plays that are going on daily, whether you expect for a stock to go up or down. That's the benefits of the option. A lot of times you just know the normal basics of a stock market is if you win because it went up. But if you learn option trades and know the difference between calls and puts, even if a stock is underperforming, you can still be making bread off of it. So that's where I'm at with it now. That's what I've been focused on for the month of July. So I end up passing that test. So got the cert for that.
How often do you have to get recertified?
It ain't necessarily that. It's ongoing knowledge. The stock market changes all the time. You just pretty much got to be keeping up with the times and knowing the different business sectors and stuff like that. Yeah,
That's-
yeah.
That's dope. That's dope right there.
Appreciate it. But Flake, you can go ahead and pop off the conversation for
Oh yeah.
today.
Yeah, this one come from one of our followers, one of our supporters this week. I actually has been on my mind and I just thought I had to bring it to the table uh since he had brought it up and him and I had discussed it. I was like, well, I was kind of looking on how I could basically bring my part of it with how I was gonna do it. I didn't know where to bring it on podcast. I didn't know where to make a video and put on social media. I didn't know what to do with it, but him and I talked about it, and I said, you know what, we'll make this as a dope subject for the podcast, and it pretty much just give you a little bit of background. It's always been there, but it just kind of hit home because it had to hit our home newspaper where we had an incident that happened at a Walmart between some young fellas. Um, all the facts are not out there all the way yet, but end up right now it seems like it was some type of drug deal going wrong and somebody got shot. However, somebody wanted to put a write up in the paper about it. Now you got to think we live in a small town, so the crime really ain't that high. It really ain't too much going on. But when things happen, they do happen. Uh, kind of large for a small town. But the thing that was put in the newspaper was about where is Black Lives Matter when it comes to black on black crime? Where is all these protests? Where are all these people at that shouting and stop the black on black crime? Um, but let it have been a police officer that shot somebody. Woo, the world would have came to a stop, and it'd been a protest, and on every corner of the city, and blah blah blah. This, blah that. What about Chicago? The favorite part. What about Chicago, and what are people doing there, and why Black Lives Matter not there? Why they don't speak up as much black on black crime? So I broke it down a little bit further. So my first initial question, you guys, is white's perception of black on black crime. Why do you think they had a perception of black on black crime the way they do, and why they never talk about white on white crime or any other race of people that has their own type of crime? Asian on Asian crime, Russian on Russian crime, whatever. It seems like the topic is always black on black crime. If you didn't know any better, black on black crime is it. No, white people don't kill white people. Asians don't kill Asians. None of that happens. Green people from Greenland don't kill people from Greenland. Like no, it's just all black on black crime. So, what are you guys' thoughts on that, and why that is the perception?
You want to go
Well,
first?
You go
Uh, I mean, it ain't really no thought on it. It's just the facts. They only care about the demise of black people. So they're going to perpetuate a narrative that makes it seem like we're the thugs, hoodlums, or the criminal, deviant beings walking the earth. Therefore, to put fear in our peers, co-workers, friends, family members, neighbors, or whatever the case may be, to a certain extent, by always showing the murders of that take place in our neighborhoods and in our environments and in our culture, versus showing the murders or the drug use or the addiction or the things that plague their community. So I just it ain't really no thought to it. It's set up that way. It's deliberately broadcast in that manner for that manner. So then it is easier to put us into prisons, to murder us, to do all type of things for free labor or to make money off of the deaths of black people. So that's just what it is, in my opinion.
I definitely agree with you on that one. I don't think that there's a such thing as black on black or white on white crime. I think from a perspective of people that love to push that agenda, to Chris's point, it's just out of ignorance. I think that makes them feel better about however they were either raised or just their honestly just their ways of being able to protect police that may do things unjustly, or anybody of another ethnicity may do things unjustly. I think is ignorant, basically, just to think that, or just to say that, hey, is you guys aren't really paying attention to black on black crime, or it doesn't matter. It only matters when police officers are involved. I could slightly understand where they're coming from, because if they're to protect within our community, I know both sides. I know that there's people that are boots on the ground that are actually really fighting within our community to stop all crime. I do know though there's people that are capitalizing off of Black death and showing up when it's Black Lives Matter. So in some instance, I could see where it could be a point, but I think just saying it without explaining completely where you're coming from, it does come off as very ignorant or kind of dismissive of the things that are actually plaguing particular communities based off of, you know, police violence. So I just think it's just from a lack of knowledge in regards to what's really going on, or just their cop out to protect them from doing what they've always wanted to do if that was their mindset. Just to answer your question in regards to that.
Yeah, I can't disagree with one of you brothers on that. I just bring another tidbit to that is basically crime happens within the people you live around. And mostly black people live close to black people, especially low and impoverished neighborhood. White people live close to white people. There's a lot of trailer park crime. There's a lot of crime that happens in the hood. There's a lot of crime that happen in Little Italy. A lot of crime that happen in Asian town. It's crime that happens around the people that you live around. That's basically what it is. Um, Especially when you're talking about low and impoverished neighborhoods. I mean, a $1 million neighborhood where they got $1 million houses, that ain't too much crime going there because you know what? They can go out and being able to afford what they want to have. But when you don't have anything, that's when crime tends to happen. When you out there you struggling and you surviving. Um, as we can take that all the way back to the first European settlers that hit on this land. They was trying to survive. They didn't know how to feed themselves. They didn't know how to do certain things. So of course, casualties had to go with that in fighting for land that's not particularly yours. Um, so it's been happening for years on end. There's not a such thing as black on black crime, not such thing as white on white crime. Crime is just crime. It can be a victim of any crime. Prime example, neighborhood I live in, it's kind of a melting pot. We got all different type of races that live in my neighborhood, all different types of religions in our neighborhood. If I got two neighbors down the street that get to fighting and they shoot each other, it ain't gonna be a racist dilemma on that. No, there was two neighbors. They got into it, and it went too far. That's what it is. Nobody speaks on white crime about what was that last winter when a man had came over and it was the older couples and the older man had killed the old white couple because they got into a dispute about some snow shoveling or whatever it is. Nobody mentioned anything about white on white crime, but that's what it was. Nobody says white on white crime when these guys shooting up country music concerts, when they go into when you got these school shooters out here shooting up predominantly white schools, you know. So, but nobody wants to really talk about that. But so crime is just crime, regardless of where you're at. It's usually just gonna happen around the people that nobody's gonna go out their way. Nobody is gonna drive uh an hour away to rob somebody else to drive back an hour away. It just don't happen like that. It ain't the way it happened. Like I seen him with some good rims. I seen that boy with some nice rims right there. I want his rims. Oh, he live an hour and a half away. Dang. And he was gonna drive this hour and a half and rob him. That ain't how it go.
Depending on who you know, depending on no.
Yeah. Depending on what he got. But your normal crime don't happen like that. Your normal day-to-day crime don't happen like that. Why you guys think it's a huge disparity gap with the way they view black on black crime versus they view any other crime? I guess it might be asking the same question, but it is a huge disparity gap. Is it just the news? Uh, where as they say, if it bleeds, it leads. And they know if they can just put that in the title, they're gonna get clicks, they're gonna get viewers in at 10 p.m. each and every night.
I mean, you could go back to my first answer for it. I mean, it's deliberately set up this way to put our bodies into prisons, to make money off the death of our bodies, to in a way exterminate us or keep us caged up or locked up and not at our full potential. And then it's also to put fear in our neighbors' hearts and minds or whatever, so that anytime that they see somebody that looks like us, they're gonna clutch their purse or they're gonna walk off faster, or they're gonna lock their doors, or whatever many examples that they might do because of the narrative that they're pushing out there through media. So that's the reason of the disparity gap. However, I will say that we have to, one, stop worrying about what media going to do, because, or what America going to do, because until we change the structure and the system, we're always going to be embattling this conversation and dealing with this narrative. But the other thing with that is we also have to do better at and be better examples, or change the narratives ourselves by not doing such acts that we do or commit and put each other through, just because, again, we're in the same area and environment as them. There's no need for us to be stealing from each other, killing each other, you know, or doing anything like that. Now, when I say there's no need, I know that sometimes it is a dire need for your survival, or for you to take care of your family, or keep the lights on, or put food on the table for your little child or whatever. So I know that there are struggles out there that sometimes, often, people are forced, their hand is forced to do certain acts that they, I'll say 7 times out of 10, really don't want to commit. There are some people out there who are just ruthless and don't have a care, but most people who are in crime-ridden areas, and also who are living a life of crime, is not because they want to do it, it's because they got to do it. And so we have to give our communities better outlets to not have to feel forced to do certain things. And we have to educate ourselves, and not just in traditional education, but education in anything. And we also have to fight the urge of going to kick door somebody's house in, when you could simply knock on that door, if it's a nice house, and say, can I cut your yard? Can I do something for you to get some money? Or let's go into business, just by talking to people and doing certain things. And we have to change that narrative and change the structure of how our ecosystems come up, and how we make them thrive versus tearing them down. And a lot of our episodes can go hand in hand with a lot of the stuff that we talk about, but this goes back to the episode when we was talking about the land and the house, and not selling, or whatever the case may be, and doing things like that. So we just have to be able to come together and build our ecosystems and our communities the way that we want to. So as Michael Jackson said, look at the man in the mirror and work on you, and then therefore we can help each other out, versus all the extra BS that they put out there. But we are part of the problem, but again, they are part of the problem too. It's just that they're gonna throw that narrative out there and show us killing each other, versus the stuff that they do on a regular every day. So that's just the way that the system is. That's how it's set up against us. That's the demise that they're trying to put us through, and that's just another plight that we have to deal with and go through.
Man, hey brother, you was preaching on that. I really should have let you answer last or something, but you really touch bases with everything, man. And you really hit home with just basically be a better neighbor. Uh, don't allow the media to control your thoughts. But more importantly, I mean, it does fulfill their agenda. I mean, it just makes it easier. And then, just to be honest with you, it sells because think about it, we're almost programmed to think certain ways, because when we even see certain acts or certain crimes that are reported on the news, they don't have to show anybody. And we already have credited in our minds on who did what and where that was at. I mean, we do it ourselves, but we just don't, you know what I'm saying? Like we look at it and we say the same things, like, oh, okay, I know exactly what color they were. And that's just part of it. And I know for a fact that that's going to draw your attention. I look at it as, if we apply the things that Spirits is talking about, and we've talked about on several episodes and partner with other people and talked about, if you control that narrative, but that also lets you know the power of being a dominant race, is because at the end of the day, if they could say something or put a title and you are almost 95% sure of what that group of people was or what ethnicity created it, we could use that same negativity that they try to spew and make it a positive. So I get where people's coming from with it. And, you know, to Doc's point that asked for us to speak about it, the huge disparity is because we know who's doing what, and we know what's going to catch our attention. Like, that's really just what it is that it sells. So we honestly just have to quit giving them selling points to capture our minds and sway the youth and put fear into our own community. Because then they have the news, and then they can go from the news to move however they want to. We have music that is direct reflection sometimes of the things that's going on with the community. It's a win-win situation for the opposition.
Who controls the media can control the narrative. That is for sure. But one thing that kind of gets me, and how people can trick you into this. They got a whole TV show that come on every Sunday that'll play for about 6 hours straight, called Snapped. Nothing but full of white on white crime. And some reason why nobody else views that as being white on white crime. I mean, if you turn it on Lifetime on a Sunday, man, it's episode after episode after episode after episode. You turn on 2020 Dateline, it's plenty of white on white crime and stories they play on there, that nobody looks at it any different. They just kind of look at it as crime or some type of entertainment, or it's almost like they don't believe this is real. Like it's a TV show, but almost a movie. But these are real live actions that are happening within the same communities, and these not low and impoverished communities. These communities are usually somebody trying to get somebody to kill somebody for insurance money worth, up in the six figures that might even be millions. But for some reason, they don't ring alarm that these type of crimes are happening in the United States of America in those type of neighborhoods for whatever reason that is. I don't really know.
I believe the reason for that is because they view us as savages and they view them as humans. So
That's crazy, ain't it? Because what was the Raiders? If we go back in history, who was the Raiders? And what color? What color were those people? Who were the Vikings? And what did they do? You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just an attack on minority groups. I mean, it's just the target of it. It's the black and brown community is deemed as pure savages. But when you think about some of the things that we've all had to either withstand or just over time, just have to get through. And if you are living in harsh environments, at the end of the day, everybody's trying to make it home to their family. And sometimes the outcome is that somebody will not make it home. But I would look at it like to you're saying, like the original savages were taking over land that wasn't theirs, and due to them not having knowledge or resources, they killed. And that's just what it is. Some of it is celebrated on holidays. And we won't get into that because that's a whole nother topic. But that's the true savages if we're being completely honest. Being in an environment
built on savagery.
Right, exactly. So being able to, being in an environment where you have to survive is just completely different from choosing to use violence because of either one, manipulative ways, or just a egotistical thing is completely different. But as long as we continue to clean up what we got going on in our communities, that we won't give them anything to talk about.
Exactly. And the next question you had, pretty much, we've already talked about, and that's basically why don't they ever want to talk about the root cause of the problems that essentially cause the problems? And I think Spears did great on pretty much answering that question on the reasons why they don't want to. But the thing is, to me, that really gets me is that this always tossed out in the forefront, and you get these people, and I look at them as people that is not well traveled. And what I mean by that is you hadn't been to a place where you might not be the majority. You hadn't been to a place to be around to see that not everybody is like that, or that crime is just crime in whatever neighborhood you are. And one the question that he did ask the person who posed that in the newspaper was, and I like Charlemagne. I love Charlemagne for doing this too when he did interviews with white people on a platform. What are you doing for Black Lives Matter? And if you go back, and with most people who want to talk about it and put that out there, it is a long pause and some stumbling that goes along with that. Because you be quick to talk about why this ain't happened, but nothing is stopping anybody from going into these neighborhoods and say, hey, let me help y'all to stop this particular crime. What can we do to help out, you know, piece this up, bring it together, do whatever is necessary and needed so we can decrease the violence in certain pockets of your city, if that's how you feel about your city or your town. And the answer to that question was when Doc had asked the person that put this article in, he said, "Sadly, I have done nothing." Well, when the last time you even been over in this section of the neighborhood? You can't even remember. And that's the sad part about it is in these situations we get a lot of people who like to talk, write, get on social media, and say things that are doing nothing. You just Twitter fingering it up. You just what I call broadband bloods and cable internet cripping. That's all you doing. You ain't doing nothing else. And then you don't even go in the neighborhood to even see why this might be happening in those neighborhoods, or what can be helped about this neighborhood, or what is the reason that's for causing, and you sit in those city council meetings and you don't vote for extra whatever, like what happened in Chicago. You don't vote for those millions of dollars that get funneled into those neighborhoods for these after school programs, for new school books at these, in private schools or anything like that. We got schools that are losing band. We got schools that are losing, football teams because they simply can't afford it because money is not being funneled into those areas. They can't keep a baseball team because they ain't got a baseball field because they can't pay somebody to come out there and cut the yard and put new dirt down and do this or do that, or they can't, afford pianos for somebody to go, have, teach piano lessons at the school, or, they can't funnel money to travel from city to city to have a debate team, but, those discussions nobody ever wants to talk about.
You made a hell of a point to be for real, Flake, with that is because I was in a chance I was talking to a few people while I was out in Tulum that have nonprofits, and I was just explaining to them of what me and Spears and Sonya and Kat's plans are in regards to building up ours and really having a community impact. I think really the huge issue with that is that a lot of people are disconnected with what's really going on within those communities from all ethnicities. Some people within our own communities are disconnected. As people have said, they feel as if that some of our elders have judged the youth so much that caused the disconnect in regards to how things used to be. Some people may say the youth is so disrespectful and so disconnected from the elders, so that has created a gap, right? And then you have people that are not from your community, whether they're from a different ethnicity, a different background. They just have an opinion or just very judgmental in regards to what's going on, but you've never visited. And if you do come, you're just as scared if you got thrown into a lion cage at the zoo, So then that doesn't help because we all are never going to be a lion. So regardless of your ethnicity, your color, age, things of that nature. When you have an opinion on an environment that you're scared to go into, that could be either two things, right? It's either you need to shut up or you need to come in and help. Because just speaking about it doesn't help. I mean, if you're creating more of an issue in an environment that doesn't make us any better, and that doesn't matter. That's for everybody. Like, and I think that's just what's going on too much. It's too much of an opinion and not enough people looking for resources to actually help with an issue. Everybody's a blogger, everybody's a vlogger, everybody has all the right words, but if we really put those actions into place, I love the topic, but we wouldn't even have to discuss it if we was keeping it real. So if people were just as opinionated as how quick they were willing to lend a helping hand to get back our communities and to make the world a better place, I think we'll be in a better space. But like you said, the internet courage is worse than, drunk courage, because, everybody has accessibility to it and everybody uses it to be their own news. And all it leads to is bickering back and forth or meaningless thoughts that aren't going to be put into intentional action. So,
Well, what both of y'all said is real. The other thing to it though is it's not even just the people who are afraid to go and to actually put their resources to use. It's also the people who do go. So for example, somebody got to write the article, somebody doing the statistics on society and the different environments and ecosystems that we have. Somebody is reporting this tidbit of news or reporting that or saying this or whatever the case may be. And those are the people who I feel like have more of a responsibility than almost anybody, because one, that's your community, even if you don't live there, because you are reporting on it. So therefore you have some type of investment. But two, negativity has to stop being the norm and the cool and the positive. Like at some point, it should break you down that you have to keep reporting about people being murdered or houses being broken into or people living below poverty line, homeless, whatever the case may be. And so since you have some connection to that community, need to do something versus just blowing the negative smoke that your job tell you to do, the people with the big dollars and the big money tell you to do, or whatever the case may be. So I feel like the people who actually are in the communities, coming in the communities, whether it be for a job, whether it be for a report, whether it be for all of this stuff, just because you might not live there and you might live an hour away because you commute or whatever the case may be or whatnot, you have an investment to the community that you report on, that you do your statistics on, that you do whatever, because at the end of the day, you are part of the problem, because you're perpetuating a narrative that may be true in some aspects, but you're not telling the full story. You're only telling the story of, oh, this young man is on capital murder for killing, whatever the case may be. But you're not telling the story of what this young man been through or what this young man, was put up against. You're also not saying, let me go in and try to get guns off the street or get the drugs off the corner or whatever the case may be. All you want to talk about is this person, this person, this person, and the wasted life that you will call it or whatever that they lived. And so I feel like the actual, I guess we could deem them as media right now, the actual media people and persons actually need to do something. And I also feel, and I know this will never happen, this is just wishful thinking. I feel like the media who is throwing that narrative around should have some type of kickback to all those communities that y'all reporting on to put the resources to effect to change the narrative or to change that neighborhood. But again, like I said, I know that'll never happen because again, the people who control the media is doing exactly what they want to do. So that just goes back to us needing, and I know we talked about him a long time ago, Mr. Byron Allen, I believe that was his name, whatever, who owned the Weather Channel and all that other stuff. We need to get back into taking ownership of things, or not even get back because we're starting to do it, but we need to do it more and on a bigger level. So then therefore we can get the stories told the right way, truthfully and honestly by us and for us, but then also so we could change the narrative of all we doing is harming each other. And so, that's just how I feel about it.
And that's why people that move into community and think this is cleaning up and making it better. Gentrification ain't helping out these communities none either. And I know you move in and you put the new houses up and doing all this and put the new stores in. That ain't helping. That ain't doing your part. That ain't doing nothing. If anything, that's hurting the people without it even more. But to bring a little light to the conversation, if we trusted media on everything, it should not be anyone of another race marrying a white woman if they watched all the episodes of Snapped. I should never trust a white man with my money for all the white collar crimes that be happening and stealing the millions of dollars. So this just examples of you can't just fly on black crime and think that's the truth of what's happening, especially when y'all got TV shows out here that should have me thinking I shouldn't trust not one person that working, shouldn't trust one white person with my money when it comes to banking or my 401k or my retirement. And I should not marry a white woman because she's gonna get upset and shoot me in the back of the head in my pickup truck one day. So yeah.
That's why I call it, tell our vision, man. I just tell people, honestly, if you really care to see something change, uh, connect with somebody within those communities that you may be scared of, that you may have talked about, and get and pull your resources to get with the right people to see how you can actually help with changing that particular community or area or person. You can start with that is look to seek understanding instead of just having an opinion in regards to uh, your thoughts on something. Because we all have an opinion, but make sure yours count and that it's actually intentional, not just gossip.
No,
Right.
real talk. Was there another question, Flake?
No, not another one, but just a quick statement, and I'm a dead it also. If nobody believes that what Spears Zero said about it's kind of a situation where they try to keep certain people, a certain race of people down. And I'm not saying it's always the case, but if you ever seen a crime happen close to a black business, it's never the street names. It's always the black business that's the closest to it that they were tied to. I've seen plenty of, I always seen an example of this, but here recently it's just really standing out. We had uh, some crime that happened across the street from a black owned business, whereas multiple other businesses in the same suite, and that's the only black owned business, and the black owned business the one taking the blame for it, even though it was crime happening in the same neighborhood before that black owned business got there. And then there was a crime done in an area which we call the Gulch, which is predominantly white businesses, and somebody got stabbed right outside of a bar, and they did not mention that bar. They just said in the Gulch area on XYZ Street. But somebody got stabbed right in front of the bar. No names of the bar mentioned at all. So yeah, I just want to throw that example out there. If anybody think we just talking just to be talking, just watch the news stations and see how it happens.
That's a hell of a point. That's a hell of a point, because they were quick to say Broadway in second before they say Hooters right there. They not doing that,
Exactly.
dog. They not doing that. That's, I mean, you know, that's part of it, man. But you know, part of it. Chris, Spirit, I mean, yeah, Spirit, did you have something?
No, I was just gonna do. I was gonna do what we was talking about before we got on, just because we got to be true to who we are in our community. So I was just gonna jump on what the baby then did. Just go ahead, get it out there. You know, give our little opinion about it, because
Let's talk about it.
that's what the people want. So, and we have to stay true. And so when somebody does an act like that, I feel like it's only right that we speak about it. So my thought process is, I don't care how he feel,
Well, hold on,
but
before you start that, for anybody who's been living under a rock, what did the baby do?
he unprovoked came out and went at uh people with severe sexually transmitted diseases, and then also a people who live a certain lifestyle, as far as, you know, LGBTQ plus. I think there's one more acronym now,
It is, but
so forgive me.
I can't keep up. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, I just can't keep up. I mean, because every month it's a new acronym added. But no disrespect to y'all, plus, Y's, X's, whatever, hims and hers, she's and thems, and yous and me's. So
Them and they.
yeah, but he went at him, and so my thing is, I don't care what he thinks personally or how he feels. To me, you don't do something like that unprovoked, and you don't do it in front of thousands of people, regardless if somebody set you off, or I don't know, because the way he did it, it seemed like he might have got hit with the okie doke. A trans might have tried to get him or something the night before, and he found out it. So then, like that shoe that was thrown at him, he dodged it. And so, but I don't know why he did what he did, but I will say he was wrong for doing it the way that he did it, especially when it was unprovoked and you just supposed to be on stage sharing your music with the world, and you want to give a little monologue about some people. But that's how I feel. I mean, y'all might feel differently.
I will say this, with him being an artist that is connecting with a lot of different people, he brings a lot of people together with his music. I mean, targeting or speaking about a particular group of individuals and being so specific about it. I mean, in this society, of course, that's going to draw a lot of, he's going to catch a lot of heat for it. I won't necessarily say if he was right or wrong per se, because I think everybody's entitled to their opinion. And I mean, you have freedom of speech now, because it didn't necessarily offend me. I just really thought that it was stupid, because you could tell somebody had pissed him off, because it was so random. And I was just sitting there watching. I had to watch it like 3 times. And I'm like, bro, what did this come from? Did you get pissed off backstage? Or something didn't go right for the baby and whoever he came across. And I mean, I think any real will understand. Like Spirit said, I think he got hit with the overdose. Somebody came real close to him, and something provoked him on that stage to get him to say that. Now, for the people that he offended, I get that. But I think people blew it out of proportion a little bit as well, because especially like the people that are counseling him at the festivals and things like that. I think the people are being hypocrites, because those same people that are mad for him making a rant allow for artists to come up and brag about drug use, the exploitation of women, and the killing of your ops in Black and brown and everywhere communities, as long as it sells a record. So if you're gonna let drug dealers, killers, And everybody else, you're gonna have to let somebody be honest and speak. If that's how he feels, he's a man and that's how he feels. I mean, people may not like my opinion, but if you're gonna glorify killing and drug dealing and raping and everything else, I mean, don't do it when it's cool to support. You gotta be completely with it. Don't be a hypocrite about it.
Well, I gotta take up for the festivals when we talking about drug dealing and abuse and rape and all that. Cause that's what happened at these festivals. That's where they making their money. They out there drug dealing all at the festivals. I'm sure some woman is getting sexually harassed. I'm sure all that is going on. Only thing that threw me off about the baby, I'm trying to figure out who pissed them off that was out there sucking dick in the parking lot. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, hey, as a man myself growing up, you know, hey, and even now, if I can get some head in the parking lot, I'm gonna be very happy. That's some unexpected head that you and when you get some unexpected head, boy, let me tell you something. But that just brings your entire day. So I'm just trying to figure out why he got to call out whoever's getting their pleasure in the parking lot. Now, did he see this happen and he just had to call it out? Like, what went on? Let me tell you something. If I was a gay man, if I got some unexpected in the parking lot, I'd be like, hey, baby, you had to call him out, player. I'm trying to enjoy myself. Ain't nowhere to go. We out here rolling loud. Ain't too many places to go out here. You know what I mean? That's the only part that threw me off. Like, why is that important?
And why so specific? Like,
right.
bring it back like 2 or 3 times. Like, is it? Is somebody? I mean, it's almost because all this is this is for it's allegedly, but if you were real, you pretty much probably get where that rant came from. That was a little bit too specific, Harvey. So that's what you should have been clearing up. And what
Somebody
made you?
must have tried him in the parking lot. That what happened. Somebody was trying.
I know. Listen, brother. You anytime you got something that specific to bitch you off, that's all I'm gonna say. So the baby might have been telling y'all something without telling y'all something. So
Right.
hey, it is what it is.
Nah, for real, for real. But
And we ain't laughing. Let me say, we ain't laughing at the community. We actually laughing at the baby and why he picked this is what he had to say. Because if you've been to clubs, if you especially been to a black club, it's always been if you got money in your pocket, put your phone in the sky, put your hands in the sky, whatever. If you're here with your homie, put your hand up. If you're here with your gal and she fine, put your hand up. If you a bad one and you in the building, put your hand up. I don't know how we got this far to, to the cause or being able to do that. But this right here, and he just doubling down on it. Is pure man. This dude is crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, put your hand up. You ain't got a head. What?
I ain't never heard that one in the club.
At that particular point, get him off the mic. Like cut the whole, get the DJ out the club. Hey, it's like who in here partying worried about you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
But they did say all of it didn't come out. They said the rent was really worse than that. So I don't know what else he said, but they said it was more to it than that. They just caught that part of it that's been circling around. But they said it was more than that was being said.
Yeah, he had a miss out. And he had to get that off his chest. And that's all that was. That's our take on it. Because I know people it's gonna be a little hot topic, but that's just what it was. Buddy was pissed off. He had a rant. I mean, for the people he offended, not saying he was right. However, for the people that are judging and saying what he shouldn't do and still allowing other artists to come up and talk about whatever, I think that's hypocritical because you're gonna let an artist be expressive. You gotta let artists be expressive.
But then the other thing with that is somebody that don't have an impact on your life shouldn't be that offensive to you. So like
facts.
Y'all got to stop, and this go for everybody, not just that particular community or whatever. But y'all got to stop being so sensitive. Like for real, like it's not that deep. You don't know the baby. You probably won't never see the baby. You probably don't even listen to the baby. But you want to be so offended and hurt over what he said when he not even in your daily life on a regular. He don't affect or effect your livelihood or your daily going. So stop letting it bother you. Just let it go. Like you're not gonna agree with everybody, and everybody not gonna agree with you. But as the First Amendment say, we got the freedom of speech, so we can say whatever the fuck we want to say, however the fuck we want to say it. And hey, either you gonna rock with me or you're not. The only thing that I will say is he he had to be high or something as well, because I just don't see how you mess up the bag like that, because he is gonna get canceled from some of these festivals or whatever. And after having a year of COVID where you couldn't go out and tour, and this was the first, big festival and stuff since, COVID, like I just don't understand why you would mess up that bag like that. Like that just don't make no sense. But common sense ain't for everybody. I think he just had a flashback of being tried or something. It's,
Hey, you know what? Hey, he got called that chocolate almond joy. That what happened.
That's exactly what I was sitting there thinking. I said, yeah, that brother that got tried, sir. I know what that rant sound like, because if you'd have been out before, sometimes and don't quit playing with me, bro. That's what he really saying, but he took it all the way down. I believe that. That's what it was. But yeah, dog, he got to doing all that. I said, oh yeah, I feel you, bro. I know where you coming from, dog. But you definitely. Oh, it's my last take. You definitely fumbled the bag, sir. You definitely.
yeah.
But you know who ain't gonna cancel him though? You know who ain't gonna cancel him? The record label.
Probably funnier though.
Yeah.
That the person who called him a good chocolate almond joy was probably bigger than him too, so he didn't want no smoke. So he waited till he got to the stage.
Hey, man, ready to the health inspector.
yeah. Hey, yeah, somebody called him like Diamond Head Cat Williams on Friday after next, right? Yeah. But you look magically delicious, what? Yeah, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. But yeah.
That man was backstage talking about, I'm a boy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's our little take on that, man.
The road up on about 6'3", 6'4", chiseled up.
Yes, sir. Yeah, he thought he about to meet an NFL lineman or something now, brother. Yeah, that's crazy, though, man.
And it's funny how we don't even know what happened, but it's funny how we just came up with that whole story.
And you know what though? Because one is just us, but that's how everybody else doing it. Because I done heard y'all call y'all mama worse, and she still pass you them peas and beans at the family dinner. So I don't get the issue, honestly. Like I've literally heard worse face to face, and you will see them out in about a week, and they just as cool. Like, dude is just a rapper. That's it. Like, okay. They say worse shit on the song that I didn't heard. So it is what it is. So.
He have a beat to it. He did that rant with a beat on it. It wouldn't even got as much information as it got. But one thing for sure, record label ain't canceling the baby. He might get a few shows canceled, but he bring in too much money. I'm just gonna be real with you. There's gonna be a lot of hypocrites that's gonna X his name off. But come early 2022, guess what's gonna be in a venue? The baby. Because he sell out everywhere he go. And people sell out for that mighty dollar. And they'll forget real quick when they need to come up and they need him to sell out a venue.
We just need the hype on the next store to drop to get the attention off of him, and he'll be right back booked that festival. That's all. We know how the game go. I mean, companies do it all the time. They say something that's that is very unnecessary or impactful to a certain group of people. They send out an apology email. Few people don't rock with them no more. Then they be right back on the bandwagon once the trend leaves. That's just what it is. So,
and it might have bypassed already with this whole Simone Biles story. It might have with the issues that she having. It might have passed already. To be honest with you.
I mean, I'm glad you said that too. Salute, Simone, man. I appreciate somebody being as impactful as you are, what you given to the country. But definitely salute you for taking time away to address your mental health issues. I salute you, Queen. I'm definitely here to support. Your life and your mental health is way bigger than any medal that you could have ever brought back from Tokyo. So salute.
Yeah. That was actually our episode last week. So
Oh, that's dope. That's what's up, man. I've been trying to catch up on everything. I kind of finally got to slow down today, and I've been sleeping all day. I ain't gonna let it nobody.
Yeah, when you out the country and everywhere else looking like you got money, it's hard to catch up with everything going on.
Yeah, that little PPP money that finally ran out, so I got to get back to the grind, right?
well, for our Black Business Minute, we're doing Black Girl Sunscreen. So you can find them at blackgirlsunscreen.com. I'm pretty sure they have some social media. I don't have that right now, but oh yeah, they got Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and Twitter accounts. But I'm gonna tell a little bit of their story, how they got started, and why you should also go to Black Girl Sunscreen and get you some sunscreen and stay protected from, them UV rays and everything. Our story begins with the need for a sunscreen brand that caters exclusively to women of color. From carrying expensive umbrellas to the beach to avoiding the sunshine altogether, women of color have come up with their own methods of protecting their skin. For years, sunscreen has been tailored to light skinned individuals, leaving behind a visible white residue on our darker skinned sisters. Blotchy makeup and white residue were enough to keep people from truly enjoying a beautiful sunny day. Our founder thought it was about time to change that. In 2016, Shantae Lundy created Black Girl Sunscreen, a 30 SPF lotion infused with natural ingredients and formulated for women of color. Made with melanated skin in mind, BGS dries completely clear and protects melanin without the white cast. Today, BGS is making moves from hitting the shelves of Target and Ulta to global expansion. Black Girl Sunscreen has grown exponentially because of you. The goal of BGS is to start the conversation globally around sun safety to educate and protect melanin beauties worldwide. Now, with 3 products, we're saying Black does crack, and it's in our power to protect it. So, Black Girl Sunscreen is our Black Business Minute this week. Again, as I stated, their website is blackgirlsunscreen.com. They do have an Instagram, a Facebook, a Pinterest, and a Twitter account as well. They also have merchandise on clothes, mugs, and then again, like I said, you could get their Black Girl Sunscreen from their website and just go out and support them. That's our Black Business Minute.
It's dope, man.
It's dope. I need to check it out. See if they got some black men sunscreen. Cause I'm dark. I'm that darker hue. It was for me. I guess to give me some of that, especially on this bald head. Cause man, boy, when you ain't got no hair and you get the peeling, boy, it is not a great feeling at all. It's hard to sleep at night. All right, for our Supreme Black Person of the Week, we're gonna go with May C. Jameson is the first African American female astronaut. In 1992, she flew into space aboard the Endeavour, becoming the first African American woman in space. Jameson, who was an American astronaut and physician, who on June 4th of 1987 became the first African American woman to be admitted into NASA's astronaut training program. On September 12th of 92, in which she flew into space with 6 other astronauts on mission STS-47. Uh, she has received several awards and many honorary doctorates. She was born in Alabama, but then shortly after that moved to Chicago, Illinois, where she can get better educational opportunities. And she called Chicago a hometown. I guess when you move at 3 years old, that will become your hometown and the only thing you know. Um, she had a Bachelor of Science degree in chemical engineering in 1977. So she is extremely She is our Lord have mercy, supremely black person. Man, I'm tired. She is our supremely black person of the week. I got tongue tied up. I was done reading and was messing up. Well, your boy I had tired.
Hey, shout out to a black businessman and then our supreme black person of the week. Boy, you remind me of Webby. Angela, Charlotte,
Hey, Webby was reading. I was done reading and jacking that up. I was done reading. Oh boy. Charlotte McGay, Angela Lee,
Angela,
Angela Lee, and DJ. Boy, y'all got some hell of a day.
yeah, it's a hell of a name. I hate that. Boy. Yeah,
Yeah, it's time me go ahead and lay it down, boy.
I'm blaming. I'm definitely gonna give me some good sleep tonight too, man. You gonna close us out though?
Yes, sir. For all our queens out there, put your crown on, tip that thing to the side. Let them know you are a queen. For all my kings out there, put your crown on, tip that thing to the side. Let them know you are a king. We are supremely black, and we out.